Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Brown. I'm a senior at Blue Valley High School. I will be attending the University of Kansas next year to study elementary education. I first got started in the CAPS Teacher Ed program because I was really interested in working with children and I thought teaching would be a great career path for me, so I decided I would try it out. I compared my philosophy of education to a trip to the mall where every student can go find what works for them, like going into a store, trying on clothes, they try it out, see if it works, and if it does, they go with that. But if it doesn't work, they try a different store or a different education path. So I believe that individualized learning is extremely important for students to be successful in their education. Here on my resume, my summary is I'm an enthusiastic, prospective kindergarten teacher who believes individualized learning plans and integration of fun and innovative technology are very important for a successful classroom environment. Um, some of my experience, I've had many jobs, but the one that really stands out the most is my job at Kitty College, which is a daycare center. And I've worked there since September of 2014. I'm there every single day from 3 to 6, and I work primarily with the infants, but I also work with kids anywhere from ages 1 to 5. Let's see. My GPA in high school ended to be a 3.9. I'm a member of National Honor Society, a member of Future Educators Association Honor Society. I'm a Kansas State Scholar. I'm on the Principal's Honor Roll. I have academic letters, and I am a member of the Club DECA. So my first observation, I started out at Prairie Star Middle School in a 6th grade math class. And for this observation, I was purely just observing and taking notes about the way the classroom was set up, the way the teacher taught, and how she managed the children, the students' reactions. And this gave me a pretty good idea of what age level I wanted to teach. After this experience, I kind of realized that middle school wasn't really my thing. So I moved on to Prairie Star Elementary School, where I went to a kindergarten classroom. And this observation was actually my favorite of all of them. I became very attached to the kids. So when I had to leave, it was kind of sad. Um, my third observation, I was also at Prairie Star Elementary in a kindergarten class as well. This was a different one. And this class was actually connected to the past class I was in. So it was fun to be able to see those kids every day through the window saying hi. And this class was very different from the one previous. Um, the class was very diverse, a lot of more behavioral problems. So it was kind of difficult for me to deal with, but it was a really great learning experience. I also went to the Hilltop Learning Center, which is a school for early childhood education. Um, and the kids here primarily have some type of special need, whether it's a learning disability or something more severe. And so the kids I worked with were ages 4 to 5. So it was kind of like a kindergarten class, but it was set up very different. So the learning was more game based, which was different, but also very cool. And my last observation, I just finished. It was at Lakewood Elementary, and I was in a kindergarten class. And these kids were awesome. They were so much fun. Um, this observation flew by really fast. And you'll see here that I have videos of all my lesson plans. This was the latest one I did. It was graphing with Lucky Charms. So I used the document camera and I placed the marshmallows on the graph to show them exactly what I wanted them to do so they had a good idea. And I kept this image up on the smart board for the whole class period so that they could see exactly what I wanted them to do. If you go to my lesson plans tab, you'll see all the lesson plans I've done for the one I just showed. This is the lesson. I put standards for the state of Kansas on all of my lesson plans to show that what I'm doing is very beneficial for what they're supposed to be learning. So this was for the Lucky Charms graphing. And I also include a heat reflection, which goes in depth about how this lesson includes higher order thinking, engagement, authentication, and technology integration. And for the technology integration for this one, I use the document camera and the smartboard. Let's see, what lesson plan? This one was at the Hilltop Learning Center. I created a game for them to practice their letters with little fishing poles. I made fishing poles out of a wooden rod and string with a magnet attached, and I would pull a card with a picture on it, and I would ask the students what that picture started with. So if it was a snake, let's say, what does this picture start with? And they would find the S on the floor, which had a magnet attached to it, and they would pick up the S with their fishing pole. So this also helps them with their fine motor skills because a lot of the students have issues with that. So I thought that would be a really great activity for them. For some of my professional development experiences, I went to a Pittsburgh State conference on education and teaching skills, and we got to go to different sessions about different ways teachers are using technology integration in their teaching. We went to a Greenbush conference where we actually presented a presentation that we worked really hard on about different tools to use in the classroom to make the experiences really fun for the students. We also took a tour of the Hilltop campus. This was before I decided I wanted to teach there, so it was really cool that I got to get a look at of it before we went. We also went to the University of Kansas to participate in a Teach Live session, and Teach Live is a really cool tool where there's animated students on a screen that can actually see you and react to what you're saying and what you're telling them to do, and it's really good practice for classroom management, so it's really fun. It's my favorite thing to do. We got CPR certified at CAPS, and here's some pictures from my observations. This was in my second kindergarten classroom observation. This was my first one, my first kindergarten class. I was reading them a book about different kinds of houses, and then we built our very own houses out of paper bags and construction paper. It was very fun. For my forums, I wrote about Ron Clark, who is a teacher that believed that learning was all about having an equal balance of fun and seriousness. So he was a really fun teacher, and this was just about how I admired his work and what he did and how I'm going to try to model myself after him. Let's see. For this one, I got on BrainPop and found a cool tool that I would use in a classroom, and I looked into the subject of health and found a really fun video that the students could watch and would help them understand how to live a healthy lifestyle and stay active. For my projects, my first one that I did with a group of my classmates was called Operation Holiday. We used a foundation called Operation Christmas Child we bought these shoe boxes that we were able to fill with small little toys and hygiene products that we then sent over to developing countries. So we went around CAPS and handed out these boxes and asked if anyone would like to participate. We bought 200 boxes and handed out 150 and got back 130. So the turnout was pretty successful. We returned these 130 boxes to Grace Church, and they shipped those off to a developing country. So it felt really good that we could help out some children around the holiday season. And my next project was the Manhattan Collaborative STEM lesson plan. We decided to create a STEM lesson plan that would teach the kids how to make a DNA model based on the specific codes used in strands of DNA. And to do this lesson plan, since we couldn't actually go to Manhattan, Kansas, we used an iPad that was set up on a mobile robot that we could actually control from our classroom and move around their classroom in Manhattan to talk to the students and answer their questions. It was a really cool experience, and the teachers are looking forward to working with us again. This is us teaching, and up here on the screen you can see me holding up the DNA model to give them an example of what it should look like, and that is actually their classroom. So it was really cool that we got to see them and how they were learning. And my blogs, I blog 2 times a week about the observations that I go to, starting all the way from the beginning of the semester. So this was only a second semester requirement, but I write every day just about what I've learned, like new skills I've learned from the teacher, exciting things that have happened, what the kids did that day, what was challenging about that day. It was really fun. Um, there's some about how on Earth Day we went outside and planted flowers. It was really fun, and how we went to the book fair. So this just kind of highlights what I was doing in all my observations and when I did my lesson plans and how what I thought turned out them. So thank you for listening to my audio tour of my Wix, and I hope you can look into it in depth more later. Thank you.